Click the like, subscribe and the notification bell. It helps the Talisman to keep theatre alive.
It's an honour, Mr. Shakespeare. A play in one act by Rachel Feeny-Williams, in which David Tennant prepares his podcast.
Welcome, Mr. Shakespeare. Pleasure to have you. Writing surpassed the test of time. How does it feel to be one of the most prolific playwright of all time? Yeah, that works. Yeah? He's here? But he's not meant to be here for another... Now? Oh, right. So he is meant to be here. No, that's fine. Yeah, send him through. Ah, Mr. Shakespeare, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure it is. You must be Mr. Tennant.
Tennant, actually. But feel free to call me David.
Very well, David.
I have to say, it's such a great honour to have you on the show, Mr. Shakespeare.
Oh, really, dear boy? This Mr. Shakespeare really isn't necessary.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Just William Shakespeare will do.
Right. So you'd prefer I addressed you as William Shakespeare?
I think that would be best. After all, if you simply called me William, people wouldn't have the faintest idea who you are talking about.
Well, I'll be introducing you as William Shakespeare, of course.
Well, we should maintain the same address throughout, shouldn't we, for continuity purposes?
Yes. I mean, yes, absolutely.
After all, continuity is a very important part of the theatre. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Well, actually, I did know.
So, no, you need all this to put together your... what was it called again?
It's a podcast. It's called David Tennant Does...
Fine. Of course, you didn't need any of this fancy machinery in my day.
Well, things have progressed since then, of course.
Yes, more reliant on cheap tricks and spectacle than the quality of the acting.
Well, I'm not sure that is true,
So
actually.
how are we to stage this, a podcast of yours?
Well, I sit here, and you sit over there.
What, all the way through?
Yes.
But where's the action? The dramatic movement that ushers the story along? Dear God, man, your audience will be bored stiff.
Well, actually, there is no audience here.
What?
Sorry, I thought this had been explained to you. The podcast is recorded and then sent over the internet so the audience can listen to it whenever they like.
The internet?
I'm not going down that rabbit hole. All you need to know is you can just sit down and talk with me and the audience will hear it.
I see. Not much drama to this story.
Well, there can be as much drama as we want to create.
Ah, yes, the creation of theatre is a beautiful thing.
Oh, I completely agree.
So, where's the script?
The what?
Well, to create the right emotion and mood, I need to know the lines.
Oh, no, it's not scripted.
Not scripted? Whoever heard of such nonsense?
Keith Johnston, I believe.
Who?
Well, he was the man who explored modern improvisation and never mind. Look, we're not here to tell a story. We're here to talk and for me to ask questions about you and your life. That's what my audience like.
Oh, your audience want to hear about me.
Of course, you're Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
The audience want to know what it was like for you writing such amazing plays.
Well, I suppose I shall have to make sure I don't disappoint them then.
Brilliant. Now, if you take a seat, we'll get started.
Well, I never. A chair on wheels.
Yes, well, we do like our modern luxuries.
So I see.
Now, that microphone there will record what you say and it'll put it together to create the podcast.
I think I'm starting to understand.
Actually, you don't need to talk too loudly. It is very sensitive.
Oh, right, I see. What are those?
They are called headphones. Well, you have a set just there, and then they go on your head and allow you to hear me. Now, you see, when I talk, the microphone...
It's amazing. I can hear you clear as day.
Yes, so if you can just talk normally, we'll make sure the levels are ready.
How's this?
A little lower.
Is this any better?
Perfect. So, I'll start in a moment and do a little bit of introduction, and then we'll just start talking.
But what if I make a mistake?
Well, that's the good thing about it. I can cut and stick and do whatever I need to put it together, and in the end, it'll be perfect.
Oh, seems actors of this day and age don't have what it takes as we did. There was none of this cutting in my day. It was always perfect.
Yeah, right. Well, if you give me a sec to do the introduction, and then we can get going.
Of course. Lead on, Macduff.
Oh, hello. David Tennant here, lovely people, and welcome to the latest episode of David Tennant Does...
Sorry. One moment.
Yes?
Well, is that how you're introducing me?
Well, that is how every episode starts.
Oh.
Problem?
Well, no offence, David.
Right.
I'm sure that little intro is good enough for some of the other people you have on this podcast. But I am William Shakespeare. Couldn't you put in a bit more effort?
Well, to keep continuity, the first bit always stays the same, and then I add a bit more suited to the guest in question.
I see.
And after all, the continuity is important.
I suppose.
Let me just do it again right through, and if you're not happy, we'll amend it. Sound good?
I suppose so.
Right. Oh, hello. David Tennant here, lovely people, and welcome to the latest episode of David Tennant Does a Podcast. Now, today we have an amazing show for you. In fact, I can hardly believe it myself. I have here in my studio an absolute legend in the world of British playwrights. A man whose work has been immortalised and performed thousands of times in countries across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one and only William Shakespeare. So, William Shakespeare, it is really a tremendous honour to have you here.
Yes, I'm sure it is, David.
Yes. So, of course, you wrote at least 37 plays and collaborated on many more, quite a few of which have been immortalised as works of genius.
All?
I beg your pardon?
All are works of genius.
Yes, of course. I actually know your work quite well, having been in several productions myself.
Really?
Oh, yes. I made my debut with the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Who?
The Royal Shakespeare Company. They're an amazing group who do fabulous productions of your work.
Well, I've never heard of them, so they can't be that great.
But I have to say my favourite had to be playing Hamlet in...
Hamlet? You?
Yes, about 10 years ago now.
I see.
What? What do you see?
Nothing. Obviously, the quality of casting has diminished since I was producing the play.
Well, I also played Romeo. Oh, and I had a brilliant time playing Benedict.
Now, those are much more suitable.
What?
More suitable roles I would cast you in. A love-struck young boy or a fool eventually cuckolded by love.
Oh, I'm not sure that's how I
Of
saw
course,
it.
the character of strength in that play is Beatrice, a woman who does not wish to bend to society's expectations.
Yes. Now, she was played brilliantly by Catherine.
Who?
Catherine Tate. She played Beatrice.
A woman? In one of my plays?
Oh, I hate to tell you this, William. Shakespeare, but the rules are very different now. Women are not only encouraged on the stage, but they are greatly praised.
Oh, I see. And these women, they do my work justice?
Oh, yes. Catherine was absolutely brilliant. The newspaper said she was employed her brilliant comic timing to maximum effect.
So, this woman, is she an actress?
She's a comedic actress mostly, but she also...
So what does she do that is so amusing?
Well, she did her own comedy sketch show. She did one where she was a bad girl at school, and when teachers tried to talk to her, she just said, "I'm a bothered."
I suspect comedy has been designed more for the common masses.
Yes, well. Are there any particular plays that stand out to you as your favourite to write?
No,
No.
I wrote mostly what was requested by the Queen, and of course...
Oh, yes, and when your company was the Lord Chamberlain's Men.
Quite.
So your company was greatly respected in society, I would imagine.
Of course. Being involved in and writing theatre is the greatest honour there is.
I think it was, but...
What?
Well, television and movies seem to have overtaken theatre as a desired form of entertainment.
Another one of those cheap tricks.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously television and movies are available to more people, but there are some people who do prefer it to theatre.
And who are these uneducated people?
Oh, it's not a case of being uneducated. It allows more people to see people's great works.
If you say so.
Well, to give you an example, if you could fit 3,000 people in the globe for a play, correct?
I do not concern myself with the audience numbers.
Well, our research said that was the case. So, while you can perform a play for 3,000 people, the TV show I was in had 9.1 million viewers.
Simple slapstick comedy, no doubt.
Actually, it was a show about a murder that had been committed in a small town, and the people of that town had all been possible suspects of that crime.
Oh, sounds riveting to me.
It was, actually.
David, I'm sure your little show was very interesting, but my plays have been talked about for hundreds of years.
But because most didn't have a choice.
Excuse me?
Most of your plays are read by school children who have had to study them as part of their exams. And I've got news for you, Billy boy. They hate them.
How dare you? That is not true.
No. Most of the West End is full of musicals, plays by new writers, plays by Miller, Beckett, Ibsen and Williams. But yours, they're just not popular.
What you are?
They're an outdated institution, and the only reason people still perform them is so American tourists can come over here and be amazed by guys leaping around in tights saying words that no one can understand.
I am not going to sit here and listen to this.
Oh, and don't tell me you're going to flounce off like one of your characters from your plays. Seriously, did anyone in your plays just walk in normally, or did they have to burst in looking like they were about to announce a war?
I have never been so insulted in my life.
Well, try going to a local secondary school and asking what they think of you. Oh, still recording? Oh, dear. Well, after that heated debate, I think I could do with a sit down and a drink. So, we'll hope to find you still listening next time, and when I'll be doing a podcast with that delightfully funny lady and all-round fabulous actress, Julie Walters. But for now, have a lovely evening, or don't, and watch a bit of Shakespeare. Bye for now.